Well, I can only sympathize for the lack of knowledge about the India manufacturing story. We are on a foreign soil. We are not like Mr. Rahul, Gandhi, who bring domestic politics to foreign lands. He is entitled to berate his own country. That's a matter of his choice. As far as we are concerned, all of India is united in its effort to improve the prosperity of our people. Some people possibly responsible for the growing influence of China in the India industry are choosing to continue to praise or defend the China story. Well, I can only sympathize for the lack of knowledge about the India manufacturing story, because I don't know which are those job losses he's talking about. But we are on a foreign soil. We are not like Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who bring domestic politics to foreign lands. He's entitled to berate his own country. That's a matter of his choice. As far as we are concerned, all of India is united in its effort to improve the prosperity of our people. We are all working towards a developed nation, a prosperous nation by 2047. Viksit Bharat 2047 is our goal, our vision, our mission, our commitment, and we are all together in making the lives of the people of India better in the years to come. As regards China, it's very sad that some people possibly responsible for the growing influence of China in the India industry are choosing to continue to praise or defend the China story. Whereas the whole world today recognizes that China is a non-transparent and opaque economy. China is known to dump goods. Even the US is concerned about it. The US is imposing extra taxes and duties on Chinese goods. US is concerned about security threat from Chinese goods and imposing restrictions on that. Whereas if you look back, and I'm only giving this as a matter of statistics with no intention to politicize, India only had a trade deficit of about $1.7 or $1.8 billion in 2004 with China. What happened between 2004 and the next 2 or 3, 4 years is something for the press to find out. But between 2004 to 2014, our trade deficit went up from $1.8 billion to $43 billion in 10 years, by nearly 30 times. Now, it is a matter of shame that we allowed Chinese goods, substandard goods, opaquely priced goods, non-transparent, costed goods to flood the Indian markets, to kill Indian manufacturing, to almost get investors disinterested in the India story, because there was no protection against these kind of goods coming in from China. Import duties were reduced during that period. India, which was not a part of RCEP, was taken into RCEP forcibly, which was really getting India to do an FTA with China. If you look back, what was RCEP? It was a grouping of 15 countries. India already had an FTA with the 10 ASEAN countries. We already had an FTA with Japan, already had an FTA with Korea. So 12 out of those 15 countries, we already had an FTA. With Australia, we were at an advanced stage of negotiation, even at that time. But we aborted it because we thought we'd do and get into RCEP. With New Zealand, our total trade was $300 million. So at that point of time, 300 million is what, about 3,000, no, not even 3, 1,000 crores, 1,500 crores. 1,500 crore was the total trade with music. रह कौन गया 15 में? Only China. And those 15 were merely doing an agreement. India was forced to join that group into RCEP by an executive action of the then government. At the highest level, there's a what is that called? TERC is a body led by the Prime Minister which takes these decisions. They forced India into the RCEP negotiation. So you will all appreciate it. Basically was getting India to do an FTA with China. And imagine what that would have cost India. Look at the import duties, how they have been reduced from 4 to 14, which helped China dump goods into India. And for your information, our trade deficit increased from 4 to 14 at a compounded annual growth rate of 42.85%. CAGR of 42.85%. If that did not kill manufacturing, what did? Whereas from 14 to 24, our trade deficit with China grew only by 6.45%. CAGR of 6.4%. It's chalk and cheese. And this is compounding, by the way. So whereas trade deficit in 10 years in our time barely doubled, it grew by 30 times, 3,000% in those 10 years. I think it's extremely sad that certain countries, certain governments who are responsible for this problem in the first place don't even recognize and understand how they have hurt and damaged the India growth story. Anyway, that is for our domestic politics. Over here, I can only tell you, all of us are unitedly working for the collective good of 140 crore Indians.